For our first story, we have my 19 male, GF, 18 female, was raped for the second time in our relationship, and I don't know how to feel about Link and my GF have been together for around 5 months, and towards the start of our relationship she was raped. She went out one night, met some people and hung out with them, then got super high on drugs, then got taken advantage of. She went to the hospital and I was the first person she called to come visit. I tried to be as supportive as possible and stayed up all night trying to get her to be comfortable enough to sleep. Fast forward 2 weeks ago and we had a pretty big argument that made me want to take a break for a week or two, and this obviously stressed her out. Come to find out that last week what seems to be the exact same scenario happened again. She meets a group of people, she takes the drugs they give her, and she gets taken advantage of. I want to be supportive, but I'm also mad at her for getting herself in the same situation, not saying it's her fault it happened. I'm mad at how self-destructive she is when she's put under stress, and how she takes whatever drugs she can get her hands on during those times. Typically she only smokes weed. I feel like an asshole being angry at her during a time like this, but I don't know if I can continue this relationship if this is how self-destructive she is. Basically, I don't know how to approach this situation. I don't know whether to feel angry or supportive or what. I've already felt like an asshole by asking questions about the night it happened. I'm sorry if this comes off as insensitive. I'm making this post so I know how not to come off that way to her. How do I handle this? That's the end of our first post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "You're only 19, mate. Get out of this relationship." Our second commenter says, "Two things can be true. Rape is not her fault. And she also makes shitty decisions, as someone else said, it's destructive behavior. Do what's best for you." That sounds like ending the relationship. Our third commenter says, "Time to end things. You cannot save people and it's obvious your GF is on a path of self-destruction right now, most likely due to other issues. I would encourage her to get help like therapy, and if her parents are good people I would absolutely be telling them what's going on, but yes, I would break up with her." For our second story, we have I've, 28 female, been faking most orgasms with my husband, 31 male, for years and now it's causing Link if, 28 female, been faking most orgasms with my husband, 31 male. And now it's causing problems because I'm selfish for finishing first. For some context, my husband and I have been together for 7 years, married for 3. Since the beginning of our relationship, I've had the bad habit of faking orgasms during penetrative sex. At first, I thought it wasn't a big deal, but as time went on, I felt stuck. I've never truly orgasmed from penetration alone. However, I orgasm regularly during masturbation or oral sex, often multiple times. For example, my husband usually stops oral after I come 3 times, but I've even hit 14 during solo play. So, I know the issue isn't my ability to orgasm. The problem started because he seemed to take pride in making me come during sex. I didn't want to ruin that for him. It made him feel accomplished and confident. Sometimes I faked it just to relieve the slight awkwardness of him trying hard to make it happen. Over time, I fell into a pattern. 2 orgasms during penetration, then he'd finish. It felt easier to keep up the act than to address it. Honestly, this routine has worked for years. He seemed happy, and I was okay with it. He's reiterated several times how proud he is, in a humble brag, "Aren't you lucky to have me?" kind of way, that he pleases me so much with penetration. But yesterday, everything changed. Out of nowhere, he implied that I'm sexually selfish because I focus on my pleasure instead of his during penetrative sex, coming twice before he finishes. I was shocked first, because I faked those orgasms for his benefit, and second, because I thought it made sense for me to finish first since sex is essentially over after he comes. He suggested I focus more on his pleasure instead of mine. He said that by me usually always finishing before him, it seems that I'm focusing more on my pleasure than his. His comment hurt. I've spent years faking orgasms to boost his confidence, and now he's calling me selfish for it. I wanted to blurt out the truth, but I couldn't. I feel like this is the final straw, though. I honestly don't want to fake it anymore. Any advice on how to navigate this delicate situation? That's the end of our second post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, "Just stop faking it." Our second commenter says, "Ha. I actually think this is super funny and a super simple fix. Stop faking and let him think you're focusing on him. After a while he may notice that you're just not coming, then just say that you're focused on his pleasure. If he then wants to perform oral, great, if not, boom, you've saved yourself some time. Give him what he now wants and see how quickly he'll revert back to wanting the status quo. I would however be a tiny bit antenna up as to why this sudden change in him. There could be 100 reasons, but just keep your eyes and ears open to make sure there isn't a someone out reason for this change. Our third commenter says, I have been lying about my orgasms for years because I wanted you to feel confident. It was wrong and I'm sorry. For our last story, we have, my husband 30 male doesn't like my 30 female new glasses and now he's avoiding link. The title says, I just got new glasses. They are slightly oversized, muted pink, square frames. They are a bit bold, but they complement my skin tone and my eye color and they make me feel happy and confident when I have them on. My husband, who sometimes dislikes my style choices, came home from work today, took one look at me and has been avoiding me all afternoon. He will barely even make eye contact with me. It's like I've gotten major surgery or a bad face tat and he's too uncomfortable to interact with me. This is not the first time he's acted like this either. He did this once when I bought a pair of black cowboy boots. The look on his face was one of silent disgust while he muttered a very forced compliment. If I put together an outfit and it isn't quite his taste, he will not say a word. If I wear something that he bought for me, it's compliment all around. I don't know if I'm looking for advice here or just to vent, but I feel like this reaction is a bit ridiculous. I was feeling great all morning and now I feel down and self-conscious. I mean, they are just glasses, ya know? I have always dressed the way I do, long before we got married. His style is a bit more tamed down, but I would not really consider mine to be eccentric in comparison. Either way, it sucks to not be fully accepted for who you are. That's the end of our last post. Let's see what the commenters had to say. Our first commenter says, I'm not even sure how I'd do it, but I'd wear those glasses even harder with the boots. Our second commenter says, your husband sounds like a dick. They're just glasses. Our third commenter says, oh girl, aging with that a-hole will be brutal. Now, it's about fashion. How will that work when he doesn't like the line in your forehead or letting your hair go gray naturally? No man on the planet is worth that hassle. That's all for today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.